Warriors have agreed to an extension for Steve Kerr. 2 years, $35 million. $17.5 million a year, making him the highest paid coach in the NBA and NBA history. Now, Greg Popovich does make more total, but he's also the president of the team. So that's a combination. So as I look at it, I'm like, this is bananas. Is any coach worth $17.5 million? Howie, I'm going to start with you. We're just talking about the NFL. In your opinion, because Bill Belichick's no longer in the league, and he had just got there, who do you think could be a $20 million coach in the NFL first?
Possibly, if they end up making the playoffs and doing some damage, Jim Harbaugh with his deal. But it's ridiculous, to be honest. I mean, coaches are worth a lot of money, but $20 million? That's absurd. Steve Kerr, he's got rings. So the fact that he's gotten the rings, that's why he's getting $17.5 million a year. But I think that's too much. But, let's face it. Financially in sports, everything's out of control. Everything's out of whack.
I agree. I'm just hoping part of that out of whack falls on driving the line. Like, we love that. Real quick, like, seriously, call us. Raphael, part of the reason he got that extension is because they just had their team valued at over $8 billion, which is a ridiculous number in the NBA. But just like Steph Curry got another $200+ million, it's all about how much is your team worth. So in your opinion, because Jim Harbaugh plays for a very, very stingy ownership group, but Howie says Jim Harbaugh, what would be a name that you think could get to that $20 million mark in the NFL?
Let's say we go to Motown. If Campbell wins a Super Bowl in Detroit, they open up the checkbook. They give him GM and Ford money if he gets one. I'm going to say Dan Campbell just because they're so close to making a nice playoff run and maybe bringing a ship to Detroit.
That was the other name I was thinking. So
they would open up the checkbook. But Steve Kerr's contract, it's the same contract Phil Jackson had in Chicago. He got the same extension, almost the same type of money, but a little bit more. But has the same contract as both Kerr and Curry have 2 years left in their contract. Both of them leave Golden State at the same time.
Wow. Can you imagine if that happens? The price of season tickets just dropping like an anchor. By the way, shout out to Richard, new crew member, joined today. We've got so many of you because you know what we're bringing to the table. So, AB, who's going to bring $20 million to the table for a coach in your mind?
Richard and Alfonso Alvarez, welcome to the crew as well. Right when you were speaking, both of you, seriously, welcome. Thank you so much. All right. So the reason why the Warriors are paying Steve Kerr all that money is because this is the transition period. And they're saying, all right, are you in? We need you to do this again. I'm not saying they're going to blow up the entire team, but what we've seen, the Warriors team that we've seen over the last 8 years, right? Like we're seeing the transition with Clay. We're going to see the transition with Draymond. Steph is the glue guy, right? Like he's going to be there and he's going to be part of everything that they ever do. He's like Patrick Mahomes. But that's why you're paying him this money, is to continue and build for the next, dynasty. Can you do it? I don't know. I mean, it's going to be tough to do. But you start talking about teams in the NFL. Dan Campbell is an excellent choice. Jim Harbaugh is an excellent choice. My man, Gerard Mayo in New England, I don't know if that's going to work out or not. I love him, a Tennessee guy. I don't know. But if it doesn't work out, whoever comes after him for the New England Patriots, that's who will make a ton of money because they like to win up there, and it's been a little while. So I'd keep my eye on that.
That is such a great take. It really, really is, because he's the only guy, Robert Kraft, who's played a coach $20 million in Bill Belichick, and you know how much he wants to win, and you know it's driving him crazy that they haven't won the last 3 or 4 years. So if this crashes and burns, and he'll give Gerard Mayo at least 2 years, maybe even 3. And if they continue after 7 or 8 years, AB, that's brilliant. Whoever they come in is going to be a big-time name, big-time coach, and demand like 10 years, $200 million.
Yeah, you give you the name? That name's going to be Mike Vrabel.
Man, Mike. What do you think about that, Howie?
It's an interesting call because a lot of people thought Vrabel would be considered this time around. but Mayo was locked in. That would be interesting. Very interesting.
I agree.
Raphael, Tom says Mike Tomlin could warrant $20 million. The only problem with that is he plays for a team that they reward loyalty over cash.
Yeah.
Usually, he only makes
Mike
like
Tomlin. Mike Tomlin deserves $100 million a year for what he's done with that roster the last 10 years. My God, man, there's not enough money on planet Earth to pay what Mike Tomlin's done.
I agree. The most overrated, underrated head coach in the NFL.
No doubt. Gentlemen.
Consistent.
Yes.
Well done today.